Once upon a time, in a crumbling cottage at the edge of a forest, there lived a boy named Jack and his mother. They were terribly poor, so poor that the cupboards echoed and the floorboards showed more earth than wood. They owned a single cow, a gentle old thing named Milky White, who gave them milk each day, until one spring morning when she gave nothing at all. Jack's mother sat at the table, her face in her hands. "We've nothing left, Jack," she sighed. "Take the cow to the market, sell her, and we'll buy bread." Jack nodded, though his heart twisted. He kissed Milky White between the ears and led her down the dusty road. He hadn't gone far when he met a peculiar old man in a wide-brimmed hat. The man eyed the cow, then Jack. "Where are you off to with that fine beast?" he asked. "To market," Jack replied. "She's all we have left." The man smiled slyly. "What if I told you I had something better than gold coins?" Jack tilted his head. The man opened his hand and revealed 5 beans, round, smooth, and glinting like polished emeralds. "Magic beans," he whispered. "Plant them, and by morning you'll have riches beyond dreams." Jack stared. Magic? He was just a boy after all. His heart swelled with hope and foolishness. Without another word, he handed over Milky White, tucked the beans into his pocket, and raced home. His mother's face turned pale when she saw the beans. "You sold our cow for beans?" she cried. "They're magic," Jack started, but she grabbed them, flung them out the window, and sent him to bed without supper. That night, the house seemed to hold its breath. When dawn broke, light spilled through the window, and Jack sat bolt right up. Outside where the beans had landed, something enormous had grown. A beanstalk, thick as a tree trunk, rose into the clouds, its leaves rustling high above the earth. It shimmered faintly, as if lit from within. Without a second thought, Jack slipped on his boots and climbed out the window and began to climb. Up he went, past the birds and breezes, past wisps of cloud and flitting dragonflies until the world below vanished. At last he reached the top and found himself in another realm. There the sky was golden, and the hills rolled like green waves. In the distance loomed a great stone castle, its towers clawing at the heavens. Curious and hungry, Jack made his way toward it. At the castle gate, he knocked. A massive woman with iron gray hair answered. She looked him up and down. "What do you want, little scrap?" "Just a bite to eat," Jack said. "Please, I've climbed so far." "My husband eats little boys like you," she snapped. But as she looked at him, tired and thin, her heart softened. "Come in then, but don't let him see you." She fed him bread and cheese the size of wagon wheels, and Jack ate quickly, just as the ground began to tremble. Thump, thump, thump. The door burst open, and in stomped the giant. He sniffed the air and roared. "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread." Jack froze in terror behind the oven, but the giant's wife waved a hand. "You're imagining things," she said. "Come, your supper's ready." The giant grunted and sat. After his meal, he brought out a small hen. To Jack's amazement, when the giant said "lay," the hen laid a golden egg, shining, heavy, pure gold. When the giant dozed off in his chair, snoring like thunder, Jack crept forwards, snatched the hen, and fled. He tumbled down the beanstalk so fast he burned his hand, but when he landed in the yard, he shouted with joy, "Mother, look what I've brought!" They lived well for a while, but Jack's curiosity burned like coal. What else was in the world above the clouds? He climbed the beanstalk again. This time, the giant's wife scowled when she saw him. You again? Please, Jack begged. I'll do chores, anything. Against her better judgment, she let him in. And again, just before the giant came home, she hit him in the copper kettle. Thump, thump, thump. Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. You smell your stew, his wife huffed. This time, after eating, the giant brought out a harp, golden, shaped like a swan. When he said, sing, it played music so sweet it made the windows hum. When the giant slept, Jack took the harp in both arms, but the harp cried out, Master, master! The giant woke with a roar and chased Jack through the castle, across the clouds, and down the beanstalk. Mother, Jack yelled as he scrambled downward. Bring me the axe! He leapt to the ground. The beanstalk shuddered under the giant's weight. With all his might, Jack swung the axe once, twice, then again. With a splintering crack, the stalk broke. The giant bellowed as he tumbled crashing to the earth and vanishing in a cloud of dust. Silence. Then birds sang, and the harp sighed with relief. Jack and his mother stood blinking in the sunlight. They had the hen that laid golden eggs, and a harp that sang like moonlight. And more importantly, they had enough. Their cottage was rebuilt, and Jack grew into a clever, kind young man who never forgot the wonder above the clouds, nor the lesson he'd learned, that bravery doesn't come from strength, but from courage in the face of the unknown. And the beanstalk? It never grew again. But on certain misty mornings, travelers swore they could see leaves curling up into the sky like the memory of a dream.